everyone, welcome back to the Math Society. So this week we'll be doing percentages, which is another Edexcel topic. So let's get right into it.
The first question, it says that the price of each sandwich in a cafe was increased by 4%, and Chris bought a sandwich after the price increased for 3.64. So you need to calculate the increase in price. So it's an increase by 4%. So we know that it'll be 104% if the original price was 100%. And it says that after the price increase it was 3.64. So we can know that 104% is going to equal to 3.64, and we can just find 1% will be how much. So you get 0.035. So 100% would be 3.5. So then you can just find how much increase it was. So that would be 3.64 minus 3.5. So that would give you $0.14. So you know that the increase was $0.14. Okay, so now for second question. So second question says that Liam started a new job on a salary of $45,500. At the end of 1 year, he's given a pay increase for 5.5%. Each subsequent year, he's given a pay increase of 1.25. And so for the first year, we know that it's 5.5. For the second year and the third year, to say end of 3 years, we know that it's 1.25. So we need to calculate the nearest. So we will find the year for the first year first. So first year, we say it's an increase of 5.5, yeah? So that would be 5.5 by 100 multiply 45,500. So that will give you 2502.50. Yep. So at the end of the first year, the total that he would have be 45500 plus 2502.50. So that will add up to $48,002.5. And then for the later subsequent year, it was 1.25. So let's find second year. So that's 1.25 by 100. We multiply with 4,800, 2.5 equals, that will equal to 600.03125. So at the end of the second year, it will be 48,002.5 plus 600.03. That will give you $4,862.53. And at the end of the year, so we know that year was 1.25 as well. Let's multiply 4,862.53. Will give you an answer of 607.53. So total at the end of the year would be 4,862.53 plus 607.53. So that will make up to $49,210.06. But they set to rounding after the nearest dollar, so it'll be just approximately $49,210, and that would be Liam's salary at the end of 3 years. Okay, so now we have question number 3. Question number 3, it says that Tahina travels to work by bus. Her total bus fare last week was £12.5. This week, her total bus fare is increased by 8%. Calculate the total bus fare for this week. So we know that 100%, that we like 100% is equals to £12.50, right? So 1% would be, you just divide them, which you will have 0.125. And then it's increased by 8%, so it's 108%. So that would be equals to 13.5 pounds. So A answer would be, the new fare is 13.5 pounds. And the second question says that Tahina works in a kiosk selling hot drinks. She sells coffee, tea, and hot chocolate. On Monday, Tahina sold a total of 378. The number of cups of coffee, tea, and hot chocolate she sold in the ratio of 5:3:1. So we know that we have 378, but it was sold in the ratio of 5:3:1. So we know that it's a total of 9 units. So we can know 1 unit worth is how much. So that's 42. And so 42, so we know that it's in the ratio of cup of coffee, tea, hot chocolate. So that's 5:3:1. And we know that 1 unit was 42. So 3 unit would be 126. And coffee would be 210 then. So it says calculate the difference between the number of coffees and the number of cups of hot chocolate. So coffee was 210 and hot chocolate was 42. So that will give you 168 coffee, 68 difference. And on Monday, it says that 3 by 14 number of the cups of coffee Tahina sold without milk. Calculate the number of cups of coffee that Tahina sold without milk. So we know that it's 3 by 14. And the number of coffee was 210. So that's multiplied 210, which you will get 45 cups. Is the number of cups that Tahina sold without milk. And here, it says that the cost of each cup of coffee that Tahina sells from the kiosk is 2.80 pounds. And Tahina went on a holiday to the US and to Canada. She bought a cup of coffee in the US for $3.20. Using an exchange rate of £1 equal to 1.24, and can compare the cost. You need to compare the cost of each with the cost of coffee that she bought from US, the one from her kiosk. So we can try to find the kiosk first. We're going to change it to dollars. So that would be the one from kiosk is 2.80 multiply 1.24, because we know that £1 is $1.24. So that will give you 3.472. And that's the dollars. And we know that they just ask you to compare the difference, right? So that would be the normal price was it was 3.472 minus 3.2. So that will give you an answer of $0.272. And that should be in dollars. It says that in Canada, Tahina bought a sandwich for 5.28 Canadian dollars. Using exchange rate of £1 equal to 1.24, 1 Canadian equals to $0.75. Convert 5.28 Canadian dollars to pound. And you have to put them into 2 decimal places. So we know that 5.28 Canadian dollars is pound, and we know that 1 Canadian dollar is 0.75. So what we're going to do is 5.28 to, it will be converted into dollar first. So 5.28 Canadian dollars. So it's Canadian dollars. So that would be 3.96 USD. So that's dollars. I'm going to write this way. And then we want to convert to pound. And we know that £1 equal to 1.24. So we're going to divide it. So that's 3.96 divided by 1.24. So that will give you a 3.19 pound. And that should be your answer. And now let's go on to number 4. It says that the manufacturer's price for a Jinko car is $X. Ben was given a 7% discount on the manufacturer's price when he bought a Jinko. Ben paid $23,622 when he bought his Jinko. Calculate the value of X. He was given a 7% discount, right? So we can know that 93%, that's the discounted price that he got, was $23,622. So we can just find for 1%, which you will get 254.4301. Which is 100%, which has to be the full price. So that's why you get 25443. That's $1. So X is equals to 25443. So that's the value of X. It says after a year, Ben sold his Jinko for $19,880. Calculate the percentage loss to 3 significant figures on the price Ben paid for his Jinko. So now we want the loss of the percentage. So what we're going to find is the total price that he got for, which was $23,622. That was the total price he got for. And he sold it for $19,880. And that's divided by the original price, which is 23, not original, but the price that he got for. So that's 23,622 multiply 100%, because we want to know it in percent. And it will be 15.9% in 3 significant figures. Let's just take this off so it looks better. Okay, so and then it says that during the year that Ben owned the Jinko, he traveled D kilometer in the car. The average fuel consumption of the car was 10 kilometer per liter. Average cost was 1.40 per liter. Other cost for the car and the yums comes to 938. The cost per kilometer, including the loss in value of his Jinko to Ben during that he owned the car, was 0.40. You need to calculate the value of D. So we know that the distance is equal to D. And the cost of the fuel would be D divided by 10 kilometer, right? Multiply 1.40. And we know that the total cost including the loss and everything. So we're gonna equal it. So cost would be 1.4 D by 10 plus it was 938 plus also the loss that he from the time that he sold. So that would be 23,622 minus 19,880. So that you would get a loss of 1.4 D by 10 plus 4,720. And it says the O was 0.4. So that would be 0.4 D equals to 0.14 D plus 4720. So then that would be 0.4 minus 0.14. It'll be 0.4 D. 0.14 D equals to 4720. So you will have 0.260 equals to 4720. And we just want D, which you'll divide, and you have 18,453.8 kilometers. And that's the kilometer, the D distance that he has traveled. Okay, so now we go on to number 5. Number 5, it says that some students at a school are asked the following question: did you walk to school today? 52% of the students are in year 7 and the rest of the students are in year 8. So in year 7, that's 52% of students, right? Students. In year 8, let me just rewrite it again. That would be 48% of students. And you have 20 of the students are here who walk to school. In there, 20% walked. So we know that the remaining 80% did not work. And then 42% of the students did not walk to school. So 42%, it says that is a total of the students that didn't walk to school. So year 8 that didn't walk to school was 28%. 28% was the percent that did not walk to school. Wait, not did, not. And then the total that didn't work was 42%. So we just want to know how much of a percent that did not work to school from year 7. So it has to be 42% minus 28%, which we could get an answer of 14% was the percentage of year 7 student that did not work to school. Just say did not work to school. Yep. And now we'll move on to number 6. So number 6, it says that Indra buys 1,000 Hungarian dolls in Budapest to sell in Australia. She pays in Hungarian forints, so Indra pays 19,000 forints for each small doll she buys. She pays 10,300 forints for each large doll she buys. And it says that the number of small dolls that Indra buys 4 times the number of large dolls that she buys. You need to calculate the total cost in forints of the $1,000 that Indra buys. So it says that we have we've got to like transfer it into Hungarian like forints, right? It's in forints, and it says that 4 times. So let's try to calculate the small first, because it says we have small doll and large doll. So small would be 800, because it says it's 4 times. So that would be 800. Because it's 8,000, right? 4 times. So it would be 800 multiplied 1,900, because she paid 1,900 forints. So that's 15, 20, and 30. And for the large, she bought 200 multiply 10,300. So that will give an answer of 2060 and 333. So we want to know the total cost in forints. So that would be 1520 123 plus 2060 123. That will give you a total of 580,000 forints. So that's the
Okay,
amount.
so it says that Indra has to pay 100 euros to transport the dolls from Hungary so she can sell them in Austria. Initially, the small price is 8 euros, large is 40 euros. She sold 80% of the small dolls and 7 by 8 of the large doll at these prices, and then reduced the price by 40%, and she sold all of the remaining. And when she bought the doll, the exchange rate was 1 euro equals to 327.6 forints, and we just need to calculate the total profit in euros to 2 decimal places that she made by selling these at $1,000. So we have to find the number of dolls first that she sold at the prices of 8 euros and 40 euros. So if we want to know number, she says she sold 80% of the small doll, right? And the number of small doll that she bought was 800. So we know that it will be 640 dolls that she sold for like small dolls. In large, she sold 7 by 8 of the large. In large, she bought 200. So it means she was selling $175 at these prices. So we want to know how much she sold at these prices. So that would be 640 multiplied 8 euros because she sold the small ones at 8 euros. That would be 5,120 euros. And then she sold the larger one at 40 euros. So that would make up to 7,000 euros. And then she said that she reduced the price by like 40%. So we want to know how much she had reduced. So that would be 40 by 100. So for the small one, it was originally 8 euros, so she reduced them by 3.2. So that would be like 8 minus 3.2, and she was now selling them at 4.8 euros. And for the large, it was also reduced by 40 by 100 multiplied 40. It means she reduced by $16. That means she was selling them at 24 euros now. And we didn't know what's the number of the remaining dolls to know how much she got from selling with these prices. So we know she was selling 640 out of 800 for small, so it means she was left with 160 small dolls, and she was selling them at 4.8 euros, so that would make up to 768 euros. And then for the larger doll, she sold 175 out of 200, so it means she was left with 25 dolls, and she was selling them at 24 euros, so that would mean she was making 600 euros. So the total for this first would be, total that she got after the reduced price that she sold would be 1,368, yeah? And we just want to know the total first, like all of the total. So all total that she got from like selling all of these, she was making 5,120 plus 7,000 plus 1,368, which means she got 13,488 euros. So this was how much she had made. So we need to know how much is the original euros first, right? So for the original, the amount that she bought was, let me have a look. She sold them at, she was getting 3,580,000 forints. So then we need to know how much she made in euros. So we just need to divide it first. So that was 3,580,000. She was out. It was 1 euro equal to 327.6 forints. So that means in euros she made 10,927.96 euros. So that was how much she made. So we didn't know the percentage profit, right? So I'm just gonna do this here. Not percentage profit, the total profit. So the profit that she made, that she got, was 13,488 minus 10,927.96, and we cannot forget one thing, which is the the transport amount that she paid. So she paid 100 euros for the transport, because essentially we want to know the profit of everything. So that means it will make up to 2460.04 euros. That was how much she made from profit. So now we know B already. So C1 is says that calculate the percentage profit in 3 decimal places. We just need to know the percentage. So it means she was making 2460.04, right? And the original was 11027.96. So that would be multiplied 100, which means you will get 22.5% of profit. So this was the profit amount that she was making. And it says that State how the percentage profit in Part C will be affected if the total profit in Part B have been foreigns. It's gonna remain the same because it just says that it's just the exchange rate. So because when you calculate it back in foreigns, you're gonna get the same amount of foreigns equal to the same amount of euros. So it means that the percentage profit would have still stayed the same. So you can just say that, the percentage profit would remain the same. Okay, so for number 7, it says that each year at the students at college organize a music concert. In 2017, total cost was $675. 2018 was 20% more than the total cost in 2017. So you need to calculate the total cost of organizing the concert in 2018. Because it says it's 20% more, right? We can just go like 20 by 100 multiply. The original was 675. So that was $135 more. So to find the total, you can just 675 plus 135. That would give you $810. Yeah. It says the tickets sold each were either adult tickets or student tickets. So in 2019, the total number of tickets was 385. 2019 number of adult tickets sold and the number of student tickets sold were in the ratio 90:16. You need to calculate the number of tickets sold in 2019. You need to find an adult. So we know that this one has like 35 units. So that's 385 divided by 35, which you will get 1 unit for 11. So it's 19:16, right? So you will get 209 is to 176. So now we know that the adult tickets was 209 tickets. And then it says that in 2019, the price of each adult ticket was 8.5, student was 4.5. It says calculate the total amount of money. So we can just need to calculate the total. So total equals to 209 was adult, and adult was 8.5 plus 176 was student, multiply 4.5, so that you will have a total of 2,568.50. And it says in 2019 the total cost of organizing the cost was double the cost of 2017. So we can find the organizing the ticket was double the cost of 2017 was 675. So that would be 675 multiplied 2. So that would give you 1350. And then it says that calculate the percentage profit. So we know that we get total 2568.5, right? So that would be 2568.5 minus 1350 divided by 1350, which will get that the profit was 90.3%. So, you've got to write here, multiply 100 as well. Yeah, equal 90.3%. And then we'll move on to number 8. It says that the shopkeeper sells a radio for $27. And for the selling price, shopkeeper makes a profit of 8%. Calculate the selling price of the radio so that the shopkeeper will make a profit of 35%. So we know that 108%, including the profit price, was $27, right? So 1% was 0.25. So then you can get 135%. So it will be like 35% profit. So that would be 33.75. So we know that I'll just write this for you. 0.25 multiply 135. So that will end up with 33.25. So that's the selling price of the radio, so that the profit will be 35%. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. It says that Garcia makes a bag from fabric, buys a length of fabric that's 40 meters long. Cost is $5 per meter. Use all to make bags. Each bag that he makes is a length of 80 centimeters of the fabric. Sells 3x5 of the bags he made for $14. Then reduce by 15% and sell the rest he made. Calculate the percentage profit. So first of all, he says we want to find the cost of the length of the fabric first. So that would be
40 multiply 5, right? That will be $200. That's the fabric cost. And then it says that each bag needs 80 centimeter, so that's 0.8 meter. And it says 40 meters divided by 0.8, we will get 50 bags. So that's the amount of bags he can make. And we know that 1 meter equals to 5. So 0.8 meter is also $4 for each. And he says 3.5 of the bags he made. So that's 3 by 5 multiply 50. That's 3 by 5 multiply 50. So that was 30 bags he sold for $14. And the other one was which will comes out to $420 for the 3 by 5 bags he sold. And he then reduced by 15%, right? So how much did he reduce by 15%? So that's multiply 14. So that's, you need to subtract by 2.1. So that's 14 minus 2.1. So he was selling the remaining bags at a price of 11.9. So he sold 30 bags, so he still have 20 bags left for the remaining. So that will be 20 multiply 11.9. So that he got $238 from that. And then he had original price he started was $200 because he paid for the fabric. And then he earned 420 plus here 238 that he sold, which gave him $658. And we need to know the percentage profit, so that would be 658 minus 200 divided by the original profit. Let me just write percentage profit. That multiply 100 equals to 229. So he got this much of profit. And then we'll move on to number question 10. 10, it says that at the end of the college course, Pierre has to take 5 examinations. Each exam is marked out of 100, has to get an overall 80% or more in order to pass. After taking the first 4 exams, Pierre's mean mark was 78. Calculate the lowest mark he can get in his 5th examination, so he passed the course. So we know that the mean is 78%. So total, we're just gonna assume multiply 4 is 312. So we know that 312 plus x, because we don't know the marks of the last one, divided by 5 because it's the total number of examination he needs to take. He needs to get 80% to pass marks. So that will give him 312 plus x equals to 488. So in the 5th exam, he need to get 88% so that he passes the course. So lowest mark would be at least 88% to pass the course. Okay, so this says number 11. Number 11 gives that the production cost of building a chemo build. L dollars for labor, M for material, H for overhead. In 2020, production cost of $120,000. Dividing the ratio of 5:3:2. So we just want to know how much it is in. So we know that it's 10. So that's 538. So that's 10. 120,000 divided by 10. So you will get 12,000 for 1 unit. So then you would get 5:3:2, right? So that would be 60,000 is to 36,000 is to 24,000 if you multiply them. So value of H is 2 units, so that would be $24,000. And then it says that production costs were different in 2021. Labor costs increased by 10%, material 5%, overhead 4% decreased. This is decrease. Calculate the percentage increase from 2020 to 2021 in the total of the production cost. They want to know the total of production cost. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to find the increase amount first. So it says it has increased by 10%, so that will be 110 by 100 multiply 60,000, which you will get 66,000. So that would be 105 by 100 multiplied 36,000. That would get 37,800. This one's decreased, so that would be 96 by 100 multiply 24,000. That would be 24,960. So we want to know the percentage increase. So we need to get the total of all these first. So total, I'm not going to write it because it's such a small place, but total should be 128. $760. So we'll know the percentage increase, right? So that's 128,760 minus the original price was 120,000 divided by 120,000. So that'll give you an multiply 100. Sorry, that'll give you an answer of 7.3% increase. That is the increase from 2020 to 2021. It says Gordon bought a Kimo boat and sold it a year later for 360,000, making a loss of 25% for the price for which he bought the boat. Calculate the price for which he bought the boat. So we're going to know the original price for what he had bought. Loss of 25%, right? So that means this is accounts for 75%. 1% would be 4,800. We want 100% for 80,000. So we know that it will be $480,000. It says that he sold the boat to a friend living in Hungary. Gordon's friend paid Gordon the 360 Hungarian forints. Using exchange rate, we need to change 360,000 to Hungarian forints. So first, it says we have the dollars, so we gotta change it to pounds first. So that would be 360,123 divided by 1.35. So we will get 800,000 divided by 3. So this is in like pounds. So we want to know forints. You can just leave. You can just not like simplify in this stage just yet, just to make things easier. So you can just multiply this. So that would make it a little easier and not have to calculate a lot of decimal place. So you'll end up at 123,633 forints. So this is how much you will be receiving in Hungarian forints. And let's move on to number 12. So in number 12, it says that there are 480 people in the airport departure lounge. So 30% of catching a plane to Dubai. Show that 336 people are not catching a plane to Dubai. So we know that 30%, right? 30% by 100 multiply 480. So that's 144 people are catching a plane to Dubai. So that's 480 minus 444. You'll have 366, and these are not catching to Dubai. It says people in the airport lounge who are not catching a plane to Dubai, catching a plane to Sweden, or a plane to Greece, or a plane to Brazil. So we have 3. So of these 336, it says S is to G is to B, so 6, 7, 8. So we know that it is a total of 16 units. So we need to find this. So that's 336 people divided by 16 units. 21 units. Which will get 21 units. That will give you an answer of 16. We just need to find this one. So that's 6 multiplied 16. That will give you a 96. So that's S equals to 96. It says Pablo went by plane from Canada to Brazil in February 2020 and February 2021. In 2020, cost was 680. 2021, cost was 730. Calculate the percentage increase. So you just want to increase. You just need to calculate the increase from them, which is 730 minus 680 divided by 680 multiply 100, which will get an increase of 7.4%. So this is a percentage increase. Okay. It says Pablo bought a ticket to go by plane to Sweden in June 2021. Cost was 468. It says cost of the ticket was 4% greater than the last time he went, which was in December 2020. And it says calculate the cost of Pablo's ticket to Sweden in December 2020. We want to know how much it was in. We want to backtrack it. So it says 104%. was 468. We can find 1%. That would be 4.5. And just 100%. So that's $450. And that was the price he paid for in December 2020. It says at the end of the trip, Pablo had 320 Swedish krona left. He changed the 320 Swedish krona into Canadian dollars. And we're going to change it. So it says that 320, right? So it says 300 Swedish krona. We can find it to euros. So that would be 320 multiply 0.094. So that will give you an answer of 30.08 euros. Pounds. And it says we want to find it in Canadian. So that's 30.08 divided by 0.57. Which will give you a answer of 52.77 Canadian dollars, which is cat. Yep. And now number 13. So 13 says that Patrick sells a painting for 5557.75 euros, makes a profit of 15%. So how much did he pay for the painting? We know 115% is equal to 557.75 euros. 1%, just find 1%, 4.85. 100%, so that should be 485 euros. And that's the price he paid for the painting. And I'll move on to question number 14. So 14 says that the price of the holiday is reduced by 4% in a sale. Hania pays $600 for the sale price when she books the hotel, so she pays the remainder in 4 equal months of 180. So calculate the price of the hotel before the sales. So we need to find 4 equal monthly first. So for 4 months, she would pay 4 multiply $180. So that she would be paying $720 in total. And then, sorry, not in total. The total we're gonna have to add with the $600 that she paid at first. Add up to 1320, and that was reduced by 4%, so that's 96% was 1320. 1%, 13.75, 100%, 1375. So we know that the original price was $1,275 before the sale. And then, okay, I think this is the last question for today. So it says question 14. Rory buys and sells jewelry. He buys a necklace for 180. He sells the necklace for 230. Percentage profit. So we know we just need to 230 minus 180 divided by original price. Multiply 100%. You'll get a percentage profit, which is 27.7%. So that's 27.7% profit. It says Rory sells a bracelet for 203. This represents a 16% increase profit on his cost price. So you need to find the cost price of this bracelet. So it's 116% would be $203. 1% you'll get 1.75, and that would be 100%, right? $175. Let me just make space. That's $175 that he paid for the cost of the bracelets at first. It says Rory traveled by plane from New York to Dubai to buy some jewelry. Total flight time 12 hours 40 minutes. Average speed 860 kilometers per hour. Calculate the total distance. So distance is equal to speed multiply time, right? So the speed was 860 kilometers per hour. Multiply, that would be 12.8 in hours equals to 11,008 kilometers. And it says Rory bought some earrings for a total cost of 91,750 dirhams. Using the exchange rate, you just need to change it to dollars, which is 91750 divided by 3.67, because it's $1 equal to 3.67, which you will pay $25,000. Yep. And that's it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next video as well.